Side. Let's stop this. Yowza, 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 you. And all those that you love in the world.
They're good, man.
Are watching, are listening, are being involved in the Skat Jones program. It's Wednesday night in America, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 8:10 where we are right now. Hopefully it's about that same time where you are. And you know what? This is going to be a great fucking show, and I can't wait to get it going. We got with us tonight, brother, the one and only, the man keeping you up to speed, up to par, up to code on everything that happened in the world today and throughout history, the one and only, the Professor Charles Lewis.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
I'm just going to do that every time now.
Hey, yo. And we got a man that's been with me through most of the good times and all the bad times. I really should stop hanging out with him. There would be a lot less bad times if, he wasn't around. The one and only Jonny Positive.
Holla,
getting me back into wrestling. This is one of our, this is going to be the SummerSlam Fallout show, one of our monthly wrestling shows. It's probably going to be 2 a month. We really fucking like wrestling, so that's it's a lot that we talk about, so we're going to be talking about it. And ladies and gentlemen, we tried to get him here last week. We tried to get both of you here last week, actually. But, things happen all the time in the world today.
This day.
And throughout history. But my main man, Punski, chilling with us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is, I'm sorry, wrong gimmick. Yes, I am here. It is the fallout from SummerSlam. A lot to talk about. I gotta say,
a whole mess to talk about.
A lot of things. There's some things, that we heard.
Things that was
Some
said.
things were said. Some things were freaking heard.
I figured I'd just get out of the way, stereotype myself now, so that judgment can just be placed, and,
These two youths. We all understand.
These two youths over here, huh? Punski, just be sure to, you can speak up, talk right into the microphone.
Make sweet love.
Yeah, you gotta make love to it.
Oh, make love to it. Okay.
Yeah,
there you
just
go.
like how every one of the superstars that is the best on the mic holds the mic. If you notice, they all hold the mic
Not necessarily.
like this.
Hogan never did. It was always Mean Gene standing there, shaking like a...
But it was as close as you can get it without
Yeah.
getting bit.
Because I have this theory, like Hulk Hogan, like he was such a heavy steroid user back in the day, and you could just see he was like a shining light. And I'm not talking about the trunks; it was the sweat from the steroids. And I guarantee, if he held a mic during those times, man, that thing would be fucking popping out of his
The thing
hand.
would popping out of his hand. He'd be getting shocked from
come on,
left
Hulk,
and right.
That's why, brother.
That's why, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the drinking word originally was going to be $9.99, which I think it's also going to work. If anyone says here tonight, $9.99, you got to pick up whatever you got in front of you and you got to drink it. Take a drink. But the other one that we're going to do, because it's so much special to this group of people that we got here, is whenever anyone says, "Go Cabana, it's your sale," you got to take a drink. So that's actually 2 right there. That you got to take. Dose. To get caught up. To get to absolute 0, you got to take 2. You got to take 2. All right, SummerSlam Fallout, guys. SummerSlam is historically the first of the majors. Golf's 4 majors have just ended, right? Once golf season is done and fantasy season is about to start, wrestling season starts.
Well, there's no real season in wrestling.
No.
But I would say that, SummerSlam was the number 2, the number 2 major of... There's 4 major pay-per-views that WWE has, as we all know, for only $9.99.
Oh!
That we can watch those pay-per-views.
Wait, where can you watch those for only... How much was that? I'm sorry.
I don't know, Mr. Positive.
I believe it's $9.99.
Oh!
Also, the WWE should be paying us for this.
You would think that they would pay
Brother.
somebody. But
They paid Triple H to have a mock necrophilia angle. You think that they would pay just a couple of normal guys, to talk about their product.
Come up and talk about
instead
that,
of
say
us having to watch that,
$9.99 a bunch of times.
I don't want to pay $9.99 to see Katie Vick.
It's true. So we're starting we're starting the 4 majors right now. You know, I like to say that it's almost like we're getting a sweeps week. You know, like with TV and shit like that. You know, this is where all the big storylines are going to start to drop. No, we're not going to see the Road to WrestleMania. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Road to WrestleMania is like fucking sweeps week. You know, but right now they're going to get
season premiere.
The fucking cream is going to rise to the top right now.
It's the Masters of the if you continue with the golf analogy, it's the Masters of the 4 majors.
Exactly.
It's the first round of the playoffs. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, like on the road to WrestleMania, SummerSlam is like the 1,000-mile marker. You know, before you get there, it's like I will be there. You know, about another 5 days.
We'll see you next year. Still.
Yeah, see you next year. You know.
What's the next major coming up? What are they in order?
Survivor Series, which would be in November.
Mm-hmm.
But in between that, you have Night of Champions coming, which is a throwaway show to me.
Right.
I could care less about it.
There's a lot of those, and that's a problem.
Hell in a Cell is another one. It's a great gimmick. That is a great story to tell that type of a match. And when you have a whole pay-per-view dedicated to just that, it waters it down and it makes it hokey. I could go on and on about this, but I digress.
No, go on and on about it.
Although I'd like
we're here to talk about SummerSlam. You know, we got to get that out of the way first. You know, while everybody's still, you know, all hot and bothered about that show.
Oh, we got some time.
Best match of the night.
Let me just say, we got the best match of the night. He already wants to go into it. Number 1 match of the night, I feel, is without a doubt, the lumberjack match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Agreed.
Hands down.
You're not going to get an argument here out of that at all.
Best lumberjack match I've ever seen.
No, it seems like we saw things in this lumberjack match that we should have been seeing
for a while.
Forever. Like they originally just woke up that morning and said, "Oh, you know what would be really cool if like we had the lumberjacks like fighting and making a big fucking deal about it and all this, and everyone gets in there." It's like the first person that found out that you could use like KY jelly to like take a jerk off, and you didn't have to like whack it, just like dry as shit and get all chafed. You're using your dick to its full potential.
Like
almost.
Yeah, you're on the road.
Like that far away from it.
You're on the road to WrestleMania.
It's the first base.
But, you know.
Yeah. Now, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, they had a fucking amazing match.
Well, they blew the roof off of the arena.
Yeah, that was tough to top.
In a big wrestling town.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the big markets that they really focus on. You know, when it comes to their, you know, bigger shows of the year. That's why it's been in Los Angeles for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Apparently, the next 3 years, it's going to be elsewhere.
Well, New York, New Jersey, which is just a way of saying they're going to be doing the show probably in the state of New Jersey, and nobody will give a damn.
Yeah. It'll still be
nobody cares.
Nothing against New Jersey. I know a lot of people from New Jersey, nice people, but I mean, nobody really gives a shit about that.
No one gives a
state,
shit
really.
about Jersey.
I don't know why. You know, there's some good people there. You know, but having
maybe
said
they're just
that,
trying to draw them in.
they're just trying to draw in with the whole New York thing. And if anybody's ever traveled to New York City, especially for a wrestling show, it's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, no, in Jersey, I think they're going to do it at a mall again. They're going to
the Mall of America.
Mall of America was the debut Nitro, which I thought was cool. I've been to the Mall of America.
Yeah, Lex Luger wasn't
Yeah.
When Lex Luger came into that, he wasn't officially, according to like kayfabe, like in the WCW yet,
his
right?
His contract had ended with the WWE on Sunday night at midnight.
Yeah.
And
they filmed it Sunday, 12:01.
They brought him on that Monday night. Everybody was under the assumption, and even Vince McMahon has said, he goes, we were on a handshake agreement to finish out the month of September before, you know, and try and negotiate a new deal. At least that's what he said in an interview. I can't remember whatever publication he did it with, but that's what was said.
You can see it.
It's like, you know, hey, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll work with you for a couple more weeks, and then, you know, we'll talk.
It's like I'll train the new guy that's coming in, but I'm still leaving.
He listened to his attorney, anyone.
It's like, why would you work without a contract? That's
As
probably
your
what the attorney
attorney,
says.
I
Like,
advise
it's
you
like
to
you're going to work without a
WCW.
contract, so there's no guarantee you're going to get anything.
There was never a guarantee. See, that's what many people don't realize, the real darkness about the WWE isn't so much that a lot of drug addicts died there and worked there. It was how they treat their workers. They're 1099s. They're independent contractors. No benefits. Nothing. There's no union in professional wrestling. Meanwhile, the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, NHL, all of these guys, athletes, have a union coddling them for only, they're only working a few months out of the year. These men and women in wrestling, bad actors and not athletes, they're on the road 300 days a year.
They're working more than
putting on hell of a
working
show.
more, making less money, and not reaping any of the benefits in some cases. It's a labor of love. That's why someone like Dean Ambrose in that lumberjack match on Sunday, which blew me away. I thought it was going to be the shit match of the show because it was a lumberjack match. And
Yeah, I didn't have a whole
completely
big
blown away
positive
about
outlook
what
on that.
those two did and the way that they kept the crowd into it, and literally into it by going all over. Leading into Monday night, the end of Raw.
The best part was getting away from the lumberjacks in the lumberjack.
They got away. They got
and
away.
then the lumberjacks
special
having to
kind
come
of
and
chaos
get you.
for that to happen.
When Corporate Kane came out,
I thought that shit was going to get
fucking
real dumb real
great.
quick.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go fucking south. I thought it was going to be like,
But
okay,
it
this is
stayed
gonna,
cool.
I'll be honest. Anytime Kane appears on the screen anymore, it's going to go south for me because I'm always been a fan of the gimmick and the character, but it's time to step aside. There's other people that are ready to be brought up, and I'll get into that if I have a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's been exploding in my head for the past few weeks after watching.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about NXT.
But having said that,
later
I
on,
think
yeah.
that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins stole the show. Agreed. We all agree.
Oh yeah.
And I would pay attention for October because I think they are going to be in one of the Hell in a Cells at that paper.
Woo!
That's the only thing I can think of to blow off that story so you can separate them.
Yeah.
And have them go on their own thing.
I wouldn't mind actually taking this rivalry throughout the whole fucking season and
All the way to Mania.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
let me
put
tell
a
you
belt on
something. Once I saw Corporate Kane come down there, I knew that Seth was going to take it. But let's talk about let's talk about the finish of this match though, because I know I was a little surprised and I liked how it fucking ended. I would have liked to seen Ambrose go over. That'd have been nice. That's my guy. But I loved how Rollins used the fucking briefcase, and you thought at the very end, tell me you didn't think Ambrose was going to go over right before Rollins comes up, because Ambrose goes over on Corporate Kane and gets him out of the ring, right? Clears the shit, and then here comes fucking Rollins with that fucking briefcase.
The classic heel finish, you know what I mean? It paid dividends for both of them in that match. They both came out of that match looking stronger than they did going in.
And that's something
the
that
goal of the
that's
show,
something
you know
that
what I mean?
Mr. Money in the Bank has to do. Mr. Money in the Bank has to use that fucking briefcase. Him in that briefcase.
The whole point of having it, you have a weapon at all times.
The whole point is that to get management to allow you to do the match where you cash in and win. Instead of doing what they did to Damian Sandow or Mr.
God.
I hate when they talk about only Damian Sandow and John Cena have been Money in the Bank winners and not been able to successfully cash it in. Mr. Kennedy was the first one, or Mr. Anderson in TNA, only because he got hurt. But still, they don't talk about that.
Right.
Stupid. It's a little pet peeve I have as a wrestling fan. It's a little neurotic, I know, but
That's until
No.
the WWE buys the rights to all the TNA stuff and puts them on the WWE network, which you can get for
how much?
$9.99 a month.
with a 6-month commitment, $9.99.
6
That's awesome.
But speaking of which,
6-month commitment.
speaking of having a drink, I want to get this out of the way before we go further into
Let's
SummerSlam. Let me get kind of Okay, you guys haven't answered the challenge yet. That's all I'll say. Which I hope you do. If not, cool, whatever.
I'll get around to it.
Yeah, I know what it is. I've had my opinions on it too, and the only reason that I did it was because my wife called me out, and I love my wife, so I got to do it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this a little bit.
I'm only going to say this one thing, though. There's other two guys, which there's a snowball's chance in hell would answer it, but if they do, because I am going to post it as much as possible tonight.
Oh wait, who were the other two?
I challenged Iron Jew, Grado,
Yeah.
and Colt Boom Boom Cabana. It's yourself. I did issue that challenge.
I saw that, and I love it.
I saw that. I was hoping they would do it.
Yeah, so was I.
I fucking hope they.
So I think that maybe I may have to troll a little bit and be
Be a dick about it.
Yeah, you think about it for a good cause as long as they donate money. That was that's the whole thing. I donated
for
money
a good cause.
Yeah, you do it for
asshole.
It's
all right,
like
for a
what
good
Dean
cause.
Ambrose did on Raw the other night. When he hit Rollins with the buck. What? It's for charity. Whacks him in the face.
It's for charity. You know what? It is for a good cause, and it's great. I don't have the money to donate. 6 weddings is a motherfucker.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I understand.
let me tell you, I love it because it's one of these things that there's like 2 schools of thought. There are the people that do it. Well, no, I'm sorry. There's way more than 2. There might be like 4. There's the people that do it and
Just to do
complain.
it.
There's the people that do it just to do it. The people that do it and complain about how it's for a good cause and everyone should donate and everybody should stop hating on it. Then there's the people that just don't want to do it and don't fucking care. And then there's the people that just hate on the people that do it. And there's like, you guys are fucking dumb, you know that? Like, it's not.
Shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah, really. I hear that too. That's why I took the self-deprecating approach, and I said, and I quote from that, before I do this mindless act, this is why I'm doing it. Transparency is something that you don't ever see anymore. So I figure, if it makes me look like an asshole, or if I knock myself.
Well, in that case, when I do it, I'm gonna be like, I'm doing this because I got shit for it. So here you go.
Shit for it too. Maybe that's why I'm, No.
I want to do it slightly different. My main problem with it is that
It's cold.
I feel like the 24-hour challenge that we did is far more challenging than this one.
Because you have to be way more creative.
Yeah,
to,
well,
like,
not
get
even
to
that.
the
But
main
you
one,
have to go outside, get into your underwear, and jump into the snow
And it's
chug a
wintertime.
beer. That was #1 thing. I think everyone should have to chug a beer before you do anything on the internet. Before you make a video on the internet, all you little bitches doing twerk videos or singing church songs, fuck it.
Do yourself a beaver.
Do yourself a beaver.
yourself a beaver.
For $9.99.
At your local Walmart.
So I think
chug a beer.
what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna get one of my ideas is get a bucket of ice and say, well, I didn't really watch any of the videos. I know there's an ice bucket challenge, but so I'm gonna drink a bucket of beer in 24 hours, and then you just open up the beer real nonchalantly and casually, and you're just drinking it.
And
then you look back at you look back at the camera like, you guys don't have to stick around. I'm gonna be here for a while.
I'll be here for 24
I'm gonna be here
hours.
for like 24 hours.
Check back in the morning.
Check back in
Actually,
the
if you
morning.
guys want to go and grab me a couple 5 hours, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull a long one.
I can't drive anymore.
Maybe go give me a Reuben. I'm a little hungry, and my belly's
Hey,
aching.
you don't even have to do that. Just grab me a couple slices. That'll be
Yeah,
fine.
there's slices. I know.
Slices in 5 hours. That's all I need. I got this bucket of beer.
I got
See, I would have rather watched that on SummerSlam for $9.99
Oh!
instead of the Brie Bella Stephanie McMahon. It's gonna be China
Oh
McMahon
my gosh.
match.
Oh,
Let's
that
get
was
into that,
awful.
all right? Please, let's get that out of the way.
Actually, the match was fine.
No, the match was not fine.
Awful.
Yeah, it was
awful. It was awful. It
I
was
thought-
stupid. It was awful.
For a
It was
women's match,
predictable.
it was all right. It wasn't as good
No.
as
AJ and Paige was good,
Yeah, well, they're gonna
but
be
that
good.
match was it was pointless. They just did it to turn Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I
Completely.
thought it was a
Ever
I
since
thought-
Daniel Bryan's been gone, that whole plot line is just gone to shit.
Yeah, if we could see at the end, if Daniel Bryan was around, maybe we would see a Steph, Triple H, and Daniel, and fucking which one, Brie?
Mixed
right?
tag match.
Mixed tag match. They might be sweet. I think
know about
Nikki's
WrestleMania.
the more attractive one. Maybe we can get like Nikki and John Cena versus Steph and Triple H. That could be a good one. So you see them fake big old boobies.
Yeah, if Cena took the heel turn and teamed with Nikki Bella against the returning Daniel Bryan, you can make something out of that. I mean, they could make something out of that. I don't know if I would, but they would.
At that point, I'd be paying $9.99, I guess,
Yeah, so who cares?
for the WWE Network to watch that.
I was a little surprised about the heel turn. I didn't expect it, but I'll tell you why I didn't expect it. Because I don't fucking watch the Divas matches.
Wait, me neither. No, me neither. But at the same time, you know, my wife watches wrestling too. She won't admit it, but she does.
She
right?
is an
She
angel.
loves it. She is. She loves wrestling. She won't admit it publicly, but I'm gonna call her out because I love you, honey. You know, I know you'd leave me for Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. It's all good. You know, I'm any sane woman would.
Of course. I'd leave you. I would Randy Orton.
You know, I love you, Heather.
I don't know. You need it more than they do. I think they just come
I
up.
can't stand the
run
Divas
up at it.
matches for one simple reason: is that creative, you know, the bookers, whatever, they minimize. You know, there's a lot of good women's wrestlers out there. I guarantee you, if you watch women's wrestling in Japan compared to here, you will think that every female wrestler in the WWE is a complete joke.
Well, in Japan, they're still men, just dressed up like women.
You know what? You know,
Very
I've seen
Shakespearean
more
over there.
women in Japan go onto an electric barbed wire board than I've seen men. All right, these girls I remember seeing these old DVDs of FMW in Japan, Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. Not a lick of martial arts in it whatsoever.
Or a lick of Frontier.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, it was all about really like, you know, it was
disappointing number of licks in that program.
fireworks and exploding rings. I mean, I remember, I can't believe I'm saying this. They had an anal explosion match on there one time.
What does that even mean?
Dude, I'll tell you.
Yo, I could tell you last week.
It was in M80, and that's all they showed was just the firework, you know, going off. They didn't show like any like real, you know, full on, but it was
Just the
horrible, you know,
blowing up
yeah, it
in
was
someone's
horrible.
asshole.
But still, seriously, women's wrestling compared to America and Japan, I can't watch it either.
I would have to believe though that wrestling in Japan is just much better than it is.
It's
in
not
America,
so much that
right?
it's better, you know, because you
Japanese.
can't understand anything that they're
New
saying. But
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you don't really have to.
It's in New Japan, right?
New Japan
New
Pro
Japan
Wrestling,
Pro
Pro
Wrestling.
Wrestling Noah, All Japan Pro Wrestling. Those are the big three. Dragon Gate.
Of course.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about a bunch of stuff you guys never heard. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, like for a Japanese thing of any kind, there's the word dragon in it.
Let me put it to you this way: in Japan, a wrestling pay-per-view is likely to get front page sports news or front page of their newspapers over, like, say, over, you know,
Over other
over
worldly
or
Dance
other
Dance
worldly events
Revolution,
or sporting
video
events.
game competitions they have over there.
No,
right.
professional wrestling is treated like legitimate sport there,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because it's
It
not.
used to be
I mean,
here.
but
People used to respect
you know,
wrestlers.
No. It's. I think it's. I think it is
TMZ
a
doesn't count
sport.
as media coverage for
Yeah,
wrestling,
TMZ.
No,
right?
I don't. I'm not talking
Except for
about that.
drunk Brock Lesnar, who I saw that YouTube video Sunday night.
Really?
I haven't seen that yet.
I
He
haven't
came out
seen
of
that
he
yet.
came out of Morton's steakhouse with Paul Heyman, and he you could
Heyman
tell.
got the pork.
No,
terrible
Heyman's
Jew.
holding both belts.
Yeah, both
He went to a
belts.
steakhouse with both of those title belts, had dinner, and you can clearly see the two of them. They got these shit-eating grins on their faces, you know. They're both
yeah.
red. It was hilarious.
Just
You know?
hammered drunk.
Yeah, Legend's like, "What's up, guys? How you doing?" Hell no, I'm not carrying both of those belts.
Hate the
Forget
Jew
it.
is.
Forget it. No, I don't want to carry both of them things. Shit. Oh, great. You know, I'm getting my fill of red meat.
Oh
Okay, there,
man,
champ.
I know, right? He's probably on
Way
a
to be a wrestler about it.
12,000 calorie a day diet or a million calorie a day. Millions.
1 million.
1 million. All right, what else we got here? Rusev defeating Jack Swagger
Garbage.
by a knockout.
The
Garbage.
match sucked, but I mean, the right guy won.
Of course.
But the
Rusev has
match
been
sucked.
going over Swagger a lot recently, and now with Zeb Coulter MIA.
Bo Dallas versus Swagger coming up.
Dude,
I don't believe that.
How much does it suck to be Swagger that you almost made? Like, he had something going. I think the Rusev Swagger
that should have gone on.
Pairing should have gone for much longer. They could have
ran that fucker to the ground.
Ran that motherfucker into the ground.
Until Jack Swagger
just watch the
eventually beat
news
him.
and just, the story will write itself.
Yeah.
You know?
And then even Swagger, if you noticed in the promo before the match on Monday Night Raw, a lot of shit, Swagger, he got his retainer out or something, because his voice was a lot better. He was going shooting a Swagger bomb. Yeah, he started to learn how to talk. And I don't know, do you think Zeb's gone? Do you think Zeb's gone from the equation now?
I don't know. Don't really.
For the time
I don't
being,
have
yes.
much. Yeah.
There's nothing
whatever.
for
I think
him
the
right
whole
now.
Real American thing is gone.
Yeah.
So there's really no need for Zeb.
He should go back to the Real American.
Yeah, let him go
Nothing
back to
was-
being the heel teabagger that he was. Like that was good. He was getting a lot of heat from the crowd.
Yeah, he was.
And then the only reason that it stopped was because he got arrested.
Oh, for weed?
He got busted for
the
pot.
weed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. Like, really, wait a
It's
minute.
Real
Wait a
American,
minute. One of your
man.
top wrestlers committed a double murder on pharmaceuticals, but this guy got arrested for a small amount of a plant. Why are you going to demonize him? This guy's, saved his own life by doing that.
Yeah. In one of the documentaries I've watched, someone was like, there'd be a lot of less dead wrestlers if they could just smoke a little joint every
It was
now
Kevin
and again.
Nash.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
It was in one of the shoot videos.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Where they break kayfabe.
If you watch, I have it. I have the Dynamite Kid documentary.
Who's the Dynamite Kid?
He was a tag team with the British Bulldogs. He's the British Bulldogs' cousin. He was actually the far better wrestler than Davey Boy Smith. He was huge in Japan. I'll give you the documentary to watch, but he was a steroid abuser, painkiller abuser, alcohol abuser, and he's confined to a wheelchair now based on his wrestling style and his drug habits. But still, had he just been given, probably some green, the guy would still be wrestling.
He'd still be wrestling. He'd still be all right.
You don't know that for sure, but
No, nothing we can know for sure, except for the fact that Lesnar was going to go over Cena.
That match reminded me of Clubber Lang beating up Rocky Balboa and Rocky 3 in the first fight.
That match reminded me of a fucking snuff film, man.
It did. It was, and you know what? You've never seen a championship match happen like that, have you?
No.
it was
You
actually
seen-
brutal.
It was. Have you ever seen that type of a show put on to where the defending champion was obliterated for 20 minutes with no stop,
No chance for survival.
It was, he went, all.
He came back a couple times.
But
Yeah,
like,
it was three offensive moves.
like as soon as he did, it was just like, bam, no.
A few of those punches by Lesnar were
legitimate. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lesnar wasn't.
He was
wasn't
going
pulling,
in.
When he was
wasn't
ground and
coming
pounding
back.
him, yeah, he definitely got
Lesnar
that-
doesn't know that you're not supposed to kill the other guy.
probably.
Because he's dumb.
And when Cena got him in the what is the his
STF?
whole the STF.
Well, it used to be the STFU.
He came out of that
Now
so
it's the
quick.
STF.
Well,
Yeah.
no, his face was turning purple. Yeah, I think Cena was giving it back to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there were definitely points in that match where
Yeah,
Cena was
They,
giving
they
it
probably
back
both
to
beat the
Brock.
living crap out of each other. If you saw their match in 2012, they abused each other.
When you're that size, you have to fucking do it.
Right.
Yeah,
When
you
you're
can't
the
just
main
come off
event,
hokey like that.
All
yeah.
that muscle means you have a whole lot more padding, so fucking go at it.
Seriously.
if you're the main event at any of the, and even the small ones too, any pay-per-view on the WWE Network, which you can get on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Hulu Plus. You can't get it on Hulu Plus. That's a whole other Roku, Apple TV, your computer, for the low price of $9.99
A month with a 6-month commitment.
with a 6-month commitment.
With a 6-month.
And you're that
Which is
size.
three less than a
when
baby.
you're the size of those two gentlemen in the ring, you have to take a hit every now and again. I mean, you got to throw a real one in there, just because if you didn't throw a real one in there every now and again, it would look even more not real. Unreal.
No, nothing's real.
Nothing is real. No, it's all real. All really real.
So real.
Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho.
Glad it happened.
Glad it happened.
Far better than Battleground.
Yeah.
Way better than Battleground.
Way better than Battleground.
And it was.
And the result was the way it should be because Jericho was.
They both came out looking just like Ambrose and Rollins. They both came out looking better than they did when they walked in. All right, there's obviously room for a third and final Bray Wyatt Jericho match, but make no mistake about it, Bray Wyatt's on his way up and doing big things. Whether their creative brain distrust wants to admit it or not, I have a lot to say, but I wish I could work for that company just for a day just to see what the hell goes on in their production meetings when clearly, maybe it's because I've been a paying customer. We're all paying customers.
How much are you paying? How much are you paying?
Oh, it's funny. The same as my dog's anxiety medication, $9.99.
Oh!
Some days I'd rather take the anti-anxiety medication, even though it's for a dog.
Did you bring any of those? Yeah. So we would have to take what? Well,
it's a natural supplement that poor Lola has to take, and it comes from milk, according to the doctor. But that's a whole other.
That's a whole other.
That's a whole
other show that we got.
That's a whole other story. Pet ownership. Yeah, I could go on and on
Pet
about
ownership and you.
I don't feel. I feel like I feel like this rivalry between Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho is just trying to keep Wyatt at the same momentum that the Wyatt-Cena rivalry was at, but
it's not doing it.
No, Jericho is Wyatt-Cena. Cena stands for so much fucking more than Chris Jericho does that I think Jericho, this is almost like a throwaway rivalry to me, it seems, guys, just because he's a fucking part-timer. Don't throw Wyatt up with a fucking part-timer. Throw him up with
at least not that part-timer.
Yeah, not that part-timer. Not the Geddy Lee of professional wrestling.
When do you guys think Wyatt goes face?
See, that I don't
know. What week is it?
2016. Not gonna be for a while. He's too good as a villain, and he has so much more that he could do.
And he's the likable villain. People love him as the villain.
People they want to see him as that, David Koresh, Charlie Manson type.
Well-worn boot.
Yeah.
On the Noah's Ark program next week.
Great Hawaiian shirts too.
Tune in.
Yeah, I know.
Those Hawaiian shirts are awesome.
I just got a little wrestling boner. What do you guys think about? And this is total off the cuff. How do you think a Wyatt Ambrose
promos would be off the
program would work?
That would be some
if
shit.
you wanted to turn one of them really face. Do you guys consider Ambrose face or a heel?
Face.
Face. He's face now because Rollins is the obvious heel.
I agree that Seth Rollins is.
But he can just as easily turn heel.
Villain, but with Dean Ambrose, a lot of his redeeming qualities, if on a normal person, you would think that they were a scumbag. They were nuts. But in the context of that world and that stage and the type of guy that he can portray, he fits perfectly in today's society as a superhero.
Oh yeah.
He's an anti-hero like Austin, like Punk, Piper.
Exactly.
Guys like that. And he reminds me of Roddy Piper a lot.
Oh yeah.
And that's throwing high praise.
With Roddy Piper with an active Twitter account. And a
Piper does have a Twitter account, and he does have a podcast of his own.
Yeah, he does have
Piper's
a podcast.
Pit. I don't know.
I'm still waiting for the email back, Hot Rod, about
Roddy.
coming in.
Yeah, we'd love to work with
Sitting
you.
here with us. We'd love to work with you. We could teach you a couple things. We've been doing this for a while.
A little bit.
We were doing it before it really got, we were doing it before it was really cool.
He's definitely someone that I would love to sit down and smoke a joint with.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
in his windbreaker pants with a tucked-in polo shirt.
I'm not even talking about his wrestling career, just okay, what is
Take
it like?
His brain.
In your prime and on a daily basis, what was it like that, take me through a day where, what's an eventful day in your life.
Well, Hot Rod's clean though. He is clean, right? Because I mean, in Legend's house,
He's
that's why
alcohol.
he
Well, he
was
stated that he doesn't drink, but I've heard him on his podcast and various videos.
saying,
and
"I smoke a
interviews.
couple doobies."
Yeah, you know, it's the new tobacco.
The new tobacco. I like.
It is. You know,
I
it's the
like
new-
that a lot.
if you're gonna talk like in today's jargon or whatever, the idiots that watch network news, it's
The
the new tobacco.
That waggy tobacco. I think it would be so much fun to hang out with Roddy Piper. I think you would see some of the craziest fucking things you ever would. I mean, you guys saw him on that Legends house. He just wanders around like a fucking mental patient.
I watched him
Because he isn't.
all of my life. I read his book. His book is
I would like to
crazy.
do that.
His book, he worked in Los Angeles, and he was actually trained in judo by the same man, Gene LaBelle, who trained Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
No shit.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey, UFC superstar right now,
Mhm.
was trained by the same guy. Got her name Rowdy from Roddy Piper.
Okay, all right, and that's
How they
isn't
met.
the King has been talking about how she'd be good for the WWE.
Heyman's been talking her up for a while, and
She was at
Oh, yeah.
SummerSlam.
she was at SummerSlam with the
All right,
four
she
horse
would be
women.
great.
The rest, the four
Coming to
horsewomen.
beat girls' asses.
Time out, yo. I gotta ask you two a question, Professor. You haven't watched Raw yet, right?
No, but I know what happened.
How big did your wrestling boner get when Heyman was talking about how he would love for John Cena to be a Paul Heyman guy? How do you feel
I was like a half chub.
about that? Is that
Mostly
like
because
a
I
half
didn't
chub?
think it would happen. I
don't think it
I
could
remain unconvinced that John Cena will ever turn heel.
I think it could happen.
He said that
It could. It would.
life
It
would be
should,
a lot easier
but
if
it
he
won't.
was a heel.
It won't happen.
But if he did, I don't think Heyman would be with him.
No.
He wouldn't need Paul Heyman to be
Exactly.
a villain. He wouldn't. I'll say this, as a wrestling fan, for as long as I've watched it and the different acts I've seen, both good, bad, and legendary, I feel like John Cena, if he were to play a villain, he would be just as good as someone like Ric Flair. That's who I envision he would be like.
Woo!
He wouldn't woo. Nobody can woo like that drunken woo.
Woo!
Like Ric Flair. I love
Yeah.
Ric Flair. Ric Flair told my mom to go fuck herself back in 1990.
Woo! That's the truth.
That
That's
is
true.
a true story.
That's the truth.
It's a good story to have.
It
How
is a
did you
great
guys-
story.
Isn't it funny that this week on Raw, Ric Flair was shitting on The Miz, the guy that
That
you
they
know,
wanted to force upon Ric Flair.
because he does the figure four all that much. Didn't Ric Flair train The Miz?
No.
Am I right? No.
No.
The Miz just.
The Miz was trained in the WWE system. He got a contract with that company because of his MTV ties, and unfortunately, he headlined a WrestleMania, which still to this day was one of the worst WrestleManias of all time.
I didn't watch that one. and
WrestleMania
thankfully I did.
27 without CM Punk and Randy Orton and the Undertaker Triple H match, the worst WrestleMania that 60, 70,000 people could have paid to see in Atlanta.
What was the okay? That was the which was the one with the fucking Money in the Bank ladder match that was in Miami
24.
That was WrestleMania 24.
20.
with the
24.
greatest ladder match that ever was, next to Razor Shawn Michaels, of course. I think
The best
Is it-
Money in the Bank match.
By
that
far, I agree. The best
Yeah.
Money in the
the
Bank.
best Money in
ladder.
the Bank match.
To me, the greatest ladder match of all time is two people that, well, one person you would suspect, the other one you wouldn't. It's from Monday Night Raw. It is on the WWE Network
You don't say. For how
only
much?
$9.99.
Oh, with a 6-month commitment.
But it is on a Monday Night Raw episode from 2002. Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker for the WWE
Wow.
title in a ladder match.
Wow.
Holy shit! I have never seen these two again.
Wow.
Like, they went out there for a good 25-30 minutes and just they blew away everything that had happened in 3-4 months prior in the WWE.
Yeah.
It was so well done. Jeff Hardy, if he was straight then and wasn't, all wasted, probably would have ascended to the top of the company within the next 2 years after that. based on just that match. Like, that was his signature moment, and he pissed it away. But I never would have suspected The Undertaker to be successful in a ladder match like he was. And after seeing that, I
He's too
highly
fucking
recommend
big.
watching the match. That's the greatest ladder match
I
I've
will
ever
watch
seen.
that.
Ever.
I will be watching that ladder match.
And that was on a Raw.
It was for free.
See, that's a
on
free
Monday
show.
Night Raw.
That's a big bone after because you don't get matches like that often enough. Where it's like if you want to like sell your brand and sell your product, put stuff out for free that are gonna hook people. You don't get it. You only get it. I feel like the only time you ever get matches like that are with the day after a pay-per-view Raws. Those are usually the better Raws.
Yeah,
and
those
then,
are the best
And then it's
Raws.
just kind
The
of like
reset Raw.
a giant kind of like everybody recovers until the next one.
Yeah.
WCW used to do that a lot with Nitro. Remember, they used to do.
And that's why they got so hot so fast.
They did well. Yeah,
That's also why they went under, because they gave Bill
they gave
Goldberg.
away too much. Yeah, like Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg should not have had his streak ended by Kevin Nash back in 1998. They killed him, but they did dome shows like quarter annually in WCW, and they would give away these pay-per-view cards for free on a Monday night. Not really smart business, because who's going to pay to see your stupid
But you don't do it
pay-per-view?
all the time.
Yeah,
but you do it enough to if you really want to perpetuate your brand like this, you do it more than once every couple of months. You do it like once
Of course.
every other month. You put like a really good Raw out there, and that also gets you a good attract for Raw. Both buying tickets and everything, because then you got people like this one might be a big one. Oh, we might get a big one. You know, like it's like almost what they did with like old school Raw.
If they
Like,
were,
if you get lucky enough to get the old school
Yeah.
Raw, you get like I used to be like, oh, it's like back in the day, and it's all cute and shit.
yeah, we've attended.
It is
one.
pretty cute.
It was good. That was a
it's
fun night. I
fucking
remember that night.
adorable.
I will say this, if they wanted to be smart about how they book their shows and utilize talent, I would swipe that third hour off of Raw that's just
Hell yeah.
useless, and I would put that as a second hour for NXT, because I got to get on this. I know we're supposed to be talking SummerSlam, but
No, we talk whatever we
this
want
is
to
this is something I got to get off my chest. The WWE has made 3 signings since June that are going to change the entire company, whether people know it or not.
Prince
Fergal,
David.
Prince Fergal Devitt, Kenta,
And I bet you you're
and
not,
Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen.
and you're not too excited about that.
I am outraged. I want WBC to start protesting their signings. I'm ready. Let's get all the hate groups out after them. No, I'm just kidding. I am so excited to see these 3 guys work, especially
Yeah.
Kenta. Kenta created the GTS, not CM Punk. Sorry, WWE fans, I'll break your bubble here in America. CM Punk, who was one of my favorite wrestlers, stole a move from this little Japanese guy.
Everybody steals everything.
Who's going to completely... He's going to blow the roof off in his matches, just with people he can work with now. Ambrose, Rollins. If you watch his matches with Seth Rollins in Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
You can see why they brought him in.
There aren't any really Asian wrestlers.
Yeah,
There's
there
no
are
one
none.
rocking martial
Yoshitatsu
arts
just got
kind of
cut,
thing.
But that's the thing with
I mean,
WWE.
like main eventers.
No, but with WWE, they always drop the ball for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
what
they
it
don't
is.
book 'em right.
They always drop the ball with wrestlers that they bring in from Japan.
Yeah.
Always. Ultimo Dragon blew it. He was a money.
Tensai was from Japan. I thought Tensai was from Jersey.
Albert went to Japan.
Albert.
Prince Albert was his name. I still call him by his original gimmick. Prince Albert, he went to New Japan, and he really got good. He made a name for himself over there, only as Giant Bernard, which is kind of weird. Then he
What
comes
was wrong
back.
with that gimmick?
It was just a name. Like, he really didn't have a gimmick in Japan. He just went in and mauled people.
I remember one video you showed me, Pun, about from New Japan. We watched it, and it just started out with like 9 little cute Asian guys with masks on, all in a ring, just throwing belts into the middle, and the match was for like every belt ever.
That was the J Crown tournament. What happened was New Japan had decided to form working relationships with all these independent promotions around the world that had junior heavyweight champions. They took their 8 champions from these promotions and had them relinquish their titles into one championship. You would have to carry 8 belts after winning this tournament.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
And that was that tournament.
You'd wear nothing but belts.
You did.
Nothing
Ultimo
but
Dragon
belts.
had.
Suit of belts.
He was
The
one who
belt
held
suit.
that championship, the J Crown, it was called.
J Crown.
The J Crown, yeah. That sounds, but I remember seeing him on like a Nitro or a Thunder,
Oh, WCW.
walking around with 8 belts.
Thunder.
I thought that was cool, but yeah, that's what I had showed you. I also introduced you to Great over there.
Copacabana.
It's yourself.
It's yourself.
Now I'm looking at all these match times. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Out of the 8 main event matches, and by main event I mean not the Rob Van Dam Cesaro match, like the actual 8 matches that made up SummerSlam, what one do you think was the longest?
The Bree Stephanie McMahon felt the longest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
I
real
agree.
life, it was.
That did feel the longest.
Is that okay?
I think the
is
longest
that your
match
final answer?
No, mine was Ambrose Rollins. I believe was the longest match.
No,
of the night.
Lesnar, Cena.
That was like what, 15, 20 minutes?
Okay, so Ambrose
I
Rollins,
say
Lesnar,
Ambrose
Cena,
Rollins, yeah.
Professor.
I have to go Ambrose Rollins.
Oh, you're all wrong.
Yeah, I figured.
Roman Reigns, Randy Orton.
Ooh.
That was the longest?
It was only by 9 seconds longer than
you're splitting
Lesnar, Cena.
9 seconds too long
Lesnar and Cena was 16 minutes and 6 seconds
of suplexes.
of German
German
suplexes.
German
Two
and vertical
F5s.
German
suplexes, 2
suplexes.
F5s, an STF, and an attitude adjustment. There's your WWE title match. Can I
And
say
it was awesome.
it was? I enjoyed seeing a title match like that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I just thought it went on a little long.
I didn't think it would have happened like that, but as far as Randy Orton, Roman Reigns goes, this is Roman Reigns' signature win over a former world champion.
Yes.
Good for him.
Oh, yeah.
A
Big
big
win for
singles
Reigns.
win.
It was
That
a
speaks
very
volumes
good
for him.
Big step.
Good match, anticlimactic ending.
You
Yeah,
know what,
I
though?
agree.
I will say this. The Lesnar-Cena match had to have gone over that way. If Lesnar had not beaten Cena in such a merciless fashion, then Lesnar would have to appear on more than one Raw a month.
There was a
Because
reason.
Paul
Yeah, of
Heyman
course.
can
Very
come out
true.
now and be just Paul Heyman, and it's just as good as having the champion there. Because Paul Heyman can just
I'd rather
say
hear him
over
than
and
fucking
over
Lesnar.
again how, mercilessly
Right.
Giant
John
killer.
Cena was conquered.
He has a way of painting a picture for fans.
I think
I think that the way Lesnar went over, I think you're right. It proved his dominance. The guy's only
Mhm.
wrestled 3 times this year.
that's yeah.
And look what he's done.
And one of them was a house show. 2 of them were house shows.
Had to take an early draw out of his paycheck.
It's taken early.
just
He's
to,
like,
just to pay for the gas to get
I
to the
mean,
next town.
yeah, exactly.
That's what these guys have to go through. That's what
Some of the
that's
some
why
of
I
the
say
guys.
NFL players are pussies compared to some of these guys.
Oh yeah.
What these men and women, what they actually have to go through. And I'm not talking about just on stage and in the ring, just in everyday life. They're pansies, right?
Yeah, especially with injuries.
But
like dealing
even
with injuries.
in the ring, it is for them to be able to take the abuse and physically give abuse to another individual and remain in character
Yeah.
and realize you have to be
No
thinking
matter what.
on so many different fucking levels at that point, because you have to remember who you are as an individual and that you're playing a character. You have to understand that. Then you have to understand that you're either going to win or lose. And then you have to understand, and you have to have in your head all these factoids just available
Yeah.
right then and there. Like when the match is going to end, that you have to do this. I think every time I see someone get hit and come up out of nowhere, like someone get up from the middle of the ring and just like walk staggered this way while another wrestler comes from outside of their viewpoint to do some kind of fucking move to do to them. Like, take for instance the Ambrose Rollins finisher when Rollins came with the briefcase. Do you know how much concentration that fucking Ambrose had to have to know where to be at that exact fucking moment so that he didn't suffer a concussion? Like, that takes so much fucking skill. It's out of this world. We see wide receivers that don't run the fucking right route. They turn left instead of right, man. But then these guys are fucking able to know 16 minutes of exact precise movements. And then you got all these motherfuckers out there talking about how this isn't a real sport.
I laugh at that.
You know?
There's mistakes in
I laugh
wrestling
at
too,
that.
though.
There's some hokiness that, yes, you can most certainly make fun of. I know.
Watch
I do
any
it.
Divas match.
Watch any Divas match. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry,
Fucking won't.
AJ.
I won't watch them unless it's
apologize.
Natalia.
I
'Cause I like
apologize.
white women.
I apologize to a lot of the great women's wrestlers in that company. You know, they are good. They can tell really good stories. If you watch Ric Flair's daughters, Charlotte against Natalia from TakeOver a couple months in NXT, that was the best match of the night. Nobody could top them.
Right.
Nobody.
Charlotte's not that attractive. That's
Ric Flair's
her
daughter
problem.
is an amazing wrestler. I was blown away. I just thought she was just
I
going
was
to be
very
another
much
joke,
blown away.
you know? But a lot of these girls nowadays in the WWE, they're only there for looks and lack of personality. I'm sorry. I'm not
You're not
trying
there
to
for that long.
I'm not trying to demonize, or anything like that, or this is some kind of fucked up thing towards women. It's not. I think there are a lot of better women in WWE than they're giving us.
Yeah.
Only.
How much?
Do you know how much it is?
Do you know how much? J-Paz?
Wait, someone got the
I lost it.
You two forgot?
Wait. It's $9.99.
Oh! All right. Before we move away from, all right, I want to talk about how all of the championships changed. Like, all of the championships that were up for grabs changed.
I was
Except
going
for
to
the
say, except for the
tag team
tag team
belt.
title, except
Why
for the
aren't
US
the
title.
fucking... Yeah. Where
Because they
are
don't have a
these?
fresh storyline yet. They wore out the Usos, Bray Wyatt, or the Wyatts things, and no one else has really stepped up to make any sort of compelling argument to be whatever, except for like Ray Baxel, but they're not giving him any credit for some reason until yesterday apparently,
Goldust
or
and
not yesterday,
Stardust.
Monday.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just weren't ready with that storyline.
The
yet, so
WWE
that's
tag
off.
team division is in shambles.
What
right
tag
now.
team?
Shambles.
Wait, what tag team? Wait, tag team wrestling in the WWE. What is that? I don't know.
Watch
Yeah,
NXT. It's perfect.
Yeah, that and NXT. If you're right, and that brings me to this: the Ascension. They've been ready for
To
quite
come
a
up.
while.
To come
Called up.
Uh-huh.
To be ascended.
They've been ready for a while, and honestly, the Usos, I'm kind of tired of them as a
I am
babyface
so sick
act.
of the
Terrible.
Usos.
I'd rather they be villains. I'd rather they be, if I may,
I feel like
savages like their grandfathers and great uncle, like the Samoans, like Appa and Sika.
I feel that they are the tag team version of John Cena. Like, that probably like little kids in this respect. That probably like little kids fucking love them, and they can
Because they're
sell
colorful, they
merchandise.
do crazy things.
Who's your favorite tag team as a kid?
Legion of
Let's go
Doom.
LOD. Okay, Road Warriors.
It's a tough one. The Rockers, the Quebecers.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah, they're cool.
The Legion of Doom and the Bushwhackers were my two favorites.
Whoa!
The Steiners.
Yeah,
The Steiners were good. The Steiners were very good.
I would say the greatest tag team of all time
Jacob
is
and Eli Blue.
Typhoon and Earthquake.
the Natural
Natural
Disasters, but
Disaster.
greatest tag team of all time is LOD, Road Warriors.
Yeah.
My personal favorite team, though, I got to go with the British Bulldogs. Again, I mean, seeing what they could do in the ring and what Dynamite Kid did, he destroyed himself for the performance.
Any version of the Heart Foundation.
The Hart Foundation.
The Hart
yeah.
Foundation
Oh,
is
my
another
God.
one.
The Hot Foundation.
The Midnight Express is another one that I thoroughly enjoyed.
The Heavenly Bodies.
The Sandman and Tommy Dreamer.
The Eliminators, the Gangsters. Let's hear it for New Jack.
Remember the
The
gangsters?
full-blooded,
the Nasty
FBI,
Boys.
the full-blooded Italian.
Nasty Boys.
Full-blooded Italians, and there was only one Italian
like
in the
the
group.
Nasty
I loved
Boys.
it.
Was it Lil Guido?
Yeah.
That was the only Italian?
He was the only legitimate Italo-Sicilian American.
Because that's
Yeah.
he was the only one who could say
You
like
get the
Guido.
picture.
I get
You know,
No.
because
Me too.
Italians are like, Guido, that's our thing, you know.
The best, no, but the way it started was there was Little Guido, and then there was this black gentleman named J.T. Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and he went around playing an Italian. It was great because his whole gimmick was that he wasn't Italian. Clearly,
But he was playing an Italian.
he was playing an Italian, and his whole thing was he used to fuck up his moves.
Yeah.
Like he got over by the crowd, by ECW fans chanting, "You fucked up" to him.
Yeah.
That's how he got over.
there are no fans like ECW fans.
Ain't that the truth?
They're all ECW fans were wrestling fans. There's
Yeah.
WWE fans, and then there's wrestling fans.
WWE fans are consumers. They consume merchandise
Only.
and promotions for
Feed
taquitos
me more.
and
Takis.
Me
Yeah,
some more.
Takis or whatever.
Takis.
Oh,
The hottest chips.
let's go get some.
no, I'm good.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I've gotten many angry text messages. I just looked at my phone for the first time in an hour. It's been so long. We've just been talking so
Wow.
steadily and rapidly about wrestling, but we got 7 messages, a message a minute from Michelob Anheuser-Busch. They're a little upset. They're our only sponsor, and we've gone through an hour of our show, and we haven't done any Michelobs yet, and we have to still do Michelobs, and it's crazy. So, as we have to do every week, Michelob! It's laundry day!
Michelob, Bloodsport, and a can of clam chowder. That's how I spend my Saturday night.
Michelob! Let's have premarital sex.
Michelob. Yeah, we smoked that girl up, and then she got smashed by that car over there. That was from the wedding, and it was
Crime
spelled all
report.
sorts of wrong. That's the best I can
That's
interpret
not what it says. Michelob's crayons filled with markers.
Michelob. Do you think Jesus ever had diarrhea?
Michelob, we have enough gas to get to Pound Town.
Michelob. And as it turns out, clowns do have rights.
Michelob, Brooklyn Zoo cheese farts.
Michelob, you injected it where?
Michelob, pushy shots with a 2-liter chaser. Michelob, bumper to bumper, dumper to dumper, past the Chris, excuse me, miss.
Michelob, what good is half a sex change?
Top half.
See.
Michelob, you take the top half, I'll take the bottom half.
Michelob, safety optional.
Michelob, an hour mixtape of 2 monkeys funking.
Michelob, that mustache looks like a defense mechanism to me.
Oh, why is that so funny?
Because it's you.
Mustache looks like a defense mechanism. Michelob, shampoo, vodka, and reparations.
Michelob, kerosene, gravy, a buzzsaw, and the fundamentals of an agrarian society.
Buzzsaw in the agrarian society. Michelob, I like ending the day with H and a bitch slap.
Michelob, it doesn't have to be human.
Michelob, how many miles you run, bitch?
Michelob, all that Mexican food, man. It was like backdraft in there.
Black draft. Michelob, your dad is still gay.
Michelob, I like my coffee like I like my women, coarsely ground. Wait,
Wait. What?
What was the question?
I like to grind on my women in an aisle at Wegmans, where everyone else grinds on their women.
Yeah.
Michelob, I'll let you keep one sex tape. You and me.
Michelob, you want to go ahead and take that off?
Okay, so from the Michelob from the webpage, we have two actually that are WWE related, and I've already chosen the winner, and it's going to be his second or third time winning. Well, Michael Dorsey comes up with a winner. Phil Walk, in honor of Brock Lesnar, eat, sleep, Michelob, repeat. But Michael Dorsey, Michelob, 13 German suplexes would get anyone pregnant. So, Mike Dorsey, you are the winner of Michelobs for this week. Oh, let's give him a round of applause. Everybody clap into the microphone. Oh my God! He's got a brilliant
mind.
He's got a brilliant mind.
Terrible physique, brilliant mind.
Smallest penis I've ever seen on a man, but brilliant mind. No, that's a lie. He's got a huge cock. He's got a horse cock. They call him horsecock Dorsey.
Horsecock Dorsey at the fire department. I think.
Nobody wants to take showers with him.
He's January on the Niagara Falls Fire Department calendar. And December being the Alpha and the Omega.
You don't make January. Yeah, you don't make January the biggest dick on the calendar, man. You gotta
Michelob.
Exactly, Michelob. January's not the biggest dick on the calendar, man. You gotta put the biggest dick in September.
That's right.
No, where do you put the biggest dick in your fireman's calendar? What month? What month's the big dick firefighter going up?
Biggest cock in the fireman's calendar is in October, of course, because that's my birthday! Happy birthday!
It's not October. Nor is it your birthday. But your Tiger Woods player does look surprisingly like you.
If I was Asian.
If you were Asian.
If I was Asian.
That's great. You sound great from there. In that phone.
Good being here.
Professor, you got any more? I'm plumb out.
I got one more.
Okay.
Michelob, what do you mean no more sex with bacon?
like you're having sex with a bacon, or are you having bacon sex?
Michelob, open to interpretation.
Michelob, breakfast never sexed so good. Oh my Lord, that's Michelobs. We've done our duty. We've done our due diligence. All right, due diligence. We've got a little bit of time left in the show. Got about 20 minutes.
Ish.
Let's see. Ish. What's up with all this ish? Huh? Hey, Michelob, huh? Get at me. But the championships belt, all the belts changed. Do you guys think that now they all changed just so at Night of Champions they can fucking change right back and nullify all of SummerSlam?
No, they won't change them all back.
If they do it with the world title, they're going to kill the ratings. So I don't think that they will. As far as the Intercontinental title,
They might. They might give it to somebody else.
why do that? Having the Intercontinental belt used to mean you were the best wrestler in the company. You were the guy that went out and did 25 to 45 minutes a night at a house show or a pay-per-view.
That's been DZ though, so I mean.
You were Mr. WrestleMania.
Dolph Ziggler, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. I could go on and on. You know, of the different people that held that title and were like that. The Miz is not that guy. So
No, he's not. He's a part-timer now that he's Mr. Movie Star.
The Marine 4.
4. Is that a
I'm actually
movie?
starring in the Marine 5. with these guys.
I don't want to spoil it, but I get blown up right in the first scene.
I get blown in the first scene by one of them. And you can see it on the WWE Network for the low price of $9.99. I think Night of Champions has such the potential to be a great pay-per-view.
If it wasn't
by the name alone.
If it wasn't so soon after the
SummerSlam.
like a Big Four proper, like I feel like the ones the pay-per-views that are right after one of the big ones, or right after even one of like the good mid ones, are just like Pun said, throwaway ones. Just like they're doing it just to do it every month, and it's just it's annoying. Like I know, money grab. It takes away from the whole. It just takes away from like the really big ones. It makes them less special when you have this quote unquote pay-per-view every month. It's like it objectifies Raw, especially when it's 3 hours of Raw. It objectifies that. You're spreading yourself thin.
Now
with how long you can do these rivalries and plot things. It's nice to have the Dean Ambrose and the Seth Rollins thing because that can be sustained despite the pay-per-view every month. But you have other things like the Swagger thing. They blew their load in like 3 pay-per-views, and now it's just like whatever. Nothing has time to fester anymore.
I think that the next thing with Rusev is going to be he takes the U.S. title off Sheamus.
He has to.
Yeah,
I think that's
that would be the
logical thing
ultimate
to do,
thing,
you know?
if you're going to keep the U.S. title around.
My U.S. champion.
He makes it the Russian title. Or
I say they keep building him up for as long as possible, and when you're ready for Wyatt to turn face, bring him out.
Against Rusev?
That'd be pretty good.
That's how you turn Bray Wyatt face.
Against Rusev, huh?
I don't know.
I think it would be more, honestly, if you're going to do it against someone, I think it would be more impactful. Like, the way that his character portrays itself and the way that he does things, I don't know, I feel like Rusev would be beneath him. That maniacal mind of his character, go for the throat of the company.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, Wyatt's too far over for
Bray Wyatt does not need to be working with
That's
someone.
what I'm saying. Keep building Rusev up.
Bray Wyatt-
But Rusev can be built up by taking out Sheamus because I'm so goddamn sick of seeing him on TV every fucking week.
Yeah, right.
I'm sick of it.
Bro,
He's having a heart attack, bro.
Just, you know what? Please make him a villain. Team him up with Fergal Devitt and watch them get over.
Fertile Devitt? Like
Devitt.
Devitt's fertile?
Prince
Like, here you
Fergal.
go.
Fergal.
It's one of
Fergal.
them Irish names.
He's something special.
I'll tell you though, I don't think Bray Wyatt Bray Wyatt is not up to that that echelon of superstar that he can work a program with Triple H. Now instead, what if you had him work against fucking Seth Rollins? You can easily turn Bray Wyatt face against Seth Rollins if Seth Rollins, after the program with Ambrose, if Rollins just becomes this maniacal fucking fake face of the company and everyone is against him.
Yeah,
and
that
he's
would be a good one
everything
for
like
Bray to go.
establishment. Bray Wyatt is against the motherfucking establishment. That's it. He's all about having a shed in the swamp, probably jerking it a couple times, got a headless chicken running around.
Stop fantasizing, Paul.
Yeah, really.
Life is a fantasy, bro. Don't you listen to Ludacris, bro? Come on, fantasy. And but they would put it in such. You have to make the people hate Seth Rollins. You can turn someone face by making them go up, by making someone just turn fucking despicable.
The old adage is, though, I don't think Bray Wyatt has reached really his potential as a sick heel.
Yeah,
The more that they hate
take
you,
a lot of time.
the more that they hate you, the more they're going to love you when it's time. Look what happened with Steve Austin. In a matter of 6 months, he went from being just the ringmaster to Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. To he's
Stole
the biggest,
everything from the same man.
He's the biggest superstar in the entire company. 6 months later, mind you, beating the crap out of the top hero in the company and Bret Hart, and it made Bret Hart a villain. There's just, there are certain things that certain people have that talent. Bray Wyatt has that.
Yeah.
You're gonna milk him. He's not gonna be any kind of a babyface, full on, or a hero until at least 2016.
But that's the beautiful thing about the WWE, especially when you're talking about how Stone Cold made Bret Hart a villain, is that in no other sport, I think, do the fans have such a fucking effect on. That where the fans, by the fans cheering or booing, the fans can unite and change things.
You see it in you see it in professional sports, but owners don't listen, right?
But in this
for
one,
example, we as Sabres fans, it's been pretty painful the past couple years.
That's an understatement.
It's been painful. It's been painful.
First of all,
we're the abused children of a horrible, horrible step parent or something.
not even sexually
now.
abused, just abused.
Just mentally and physically, they just beat the shit out of us every day. And enough is
Like,
enough
I couldn't
now.
shit unless it was beaten out of me.
And that's what to me, that's what being a Sabres fan is right now. And they're finally starting to listen to the fans. They brought someone in, is it Ted Nolan, who has credibility with us, and he can develop players. Good move. Okay, they still suck. We're pissed off. They clean house with the GM and all that crap. WWE listens to that even after, they didn't listen up until 3 weeks before WrestleMania to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, people wanted Bryan over, and yet here's Batista winning the Royal Rumble.
I don't think they need Bryan.
Not right now, no.
I think that the people...
No, I think that they're in good shape for when he does come back. It's going to be more meaningful because he's going to have more people to work with.
Right.
People that nobody's seen in the WWE. Rollins, Kenta, Sami Zayn.
Kinte. Toby. It's just, I feel that the character of Daniel Bryan is more of the yes chant and the crowd reaction than it is the actual person. I feel that it's taken on a life all its own.
Go on YouTube tonight.
No. No, I will.
Watch. I'm probably going to obliterate the guy's name, but it was a Japanese name. So I'm sorry if I
$9.99?
It.
Is that nine?
No, it is not
Oh,
a part of.
yay!
It is not a part of that. But there's a match between Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, Daniel Bryan, against Takeshi Morishima was his name. The guy was 6'8", 290 pounds, and he punched Bryan so hard he detached his retina. Bryan continued with the match. Watch that from Ring of Honor.
Triple H tore a quad. Continued.
Yeah, and laid on his stomach.
Yeah, that's true.
Daniel Bryan was half blind in a match and did his normal shtick.
Yeah, usually when you detach a retina, you stop whatever you're doing and go to the doctor.
He kept going. He even said, he goes, I couldn't see out of my right eye, but I guess I finished it. And they went 35 minutes after the fact.
That's nuts.
Yeah, the guy is nuts. No wonder he's so brittle right now.
Yeah, but even still, like when he comes back, all healthy and shit, he'll be just doing just like what it is, putting on crazy good matches that need to be getting put on like all the time. Dude gave 110% every single time.
That's correct. I feel like he lacks
That's
charisma.
how Ambrose and Rollins are now. They give 110% every time they're out there. That's great. It's refreshing to see. Night in, night out, guys fucking doing it.
Well, nobody's taking bumps like Seth Rollins right now. Seth Rollins is
Nobody
the king
will.
of that.
Yeah.
He's doing very well. I mean,
Same
It
as
reminds
Zayn
me
could.
of HBK back in the day.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn hasn't had a good match. Sami Zayn, all right, I won't say that he hasn't had a good match, but in NXT, I've watched a couple sloppy Sami Zayn
I have too.
I feel that Sami Zayn blew his nut all over our bodies with Zayn Cesaro 1, and then with 2. 2 was like like the good shit after you take like the second good shit. that you take, you know.
I've
But
been watching him for years, so I've been a huge fan of his work back to his El Generico days.
El Generico.
All right, so it's like I've watched him in different independent promotions, doing completely different styles of matches with a vastly different group of different dance partners, I guess you could say.
Let's do the dance.
Now that Kevin Steen is coming in, you're gonna see something that is very special between these two. These guys, their feud from 2009 to 2010. Wow.
Ooh.
They were a great tag team as well, but the stories that they told, Kevin Steen turning on Generico, trying to take his mask, and it was so well done.
That's something that's not as prevalent in the WWE that I think they could, is the whole the pride behind the mask. How important the mask is to like luchadores and
or Aldo Montoya.
Oh, Aldo Montoya.
Portuguese man.
The Portuguese Man of War.
I remember him.
That's just incredible.
Oh,
That's what's funny. And he really legitimately is Portuguese, come to find out.
come to find out. Portuguese.
He admitted it on Stone Cold show.
He's like,
I really am Portuguese. I couldn't speak a lick of Portuguese, but that's what Vince told me to do.
I got 1/16 of me is Portuguesian. Huh? Come on, huh?
Is that even how you say it?
I
Playoffs.
have no idea, man.
I'll hang up a list.
Portuguese Man of War. I come with sausage and kale soup and an ass kicking.
Oh, kale. Let's see. The only match we haven't really talked about is we kind of talked about the Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, but we didn't go into detail about it. This was one of the matches I was looking forward to, Reigns versus Orton. I think these are two of your biggest guys right now that have the ability to. Lesnar and Cena are too fucking bulky, and they can't move around as fluidly as Reigns and Orton. But Reigns and Orton are like fucking ballerinas out there in the squared circle. Sometimes,
Randy Orton is the type of performer, great in-ring performer, but he clings to too much to the scripted character. He's I call him a bullet points actor. They give him his assignment, and it's like he memorizes it word for word, someone else's thoughts and views, and he tries to interpret it his way. Doesn't work. When Randy Orton, they just let him go, and you see bits and pieces of that come out. When Randy Orton plays to the crowd, he's very believable.
Right.
But when he does his crappy, nonsensical, monotone bullshit promos and interviews, it just makes me want to jump into traffic. Be honest with you. That is for me. That's looking at the pack of smokes. Like, all right, I gotta go to the freezer and get a pack of cigarettes.
I gotta go to the freezer.
I don't need to hear his promo. You know what I mean? I gotta let the dog out.
Right. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be the same promo I saw
in 2002 when he was first called up.
Right. Evolution is a mystery.
Okay, now that you're on that, greatest theme song of all time.
All right. Well, this will be our ending bit. We've reached our time. Greatest theme song of all time. We're gonna go around. Punski, we'll go to you last because you brought it up. Okay.
And I always like this question.
Are we talking about personal favorites or what we think the best is?
Personal favorites.
It's personal favorites.
Well,
what you feel
pick
is the greatest. Yeah, you should pick your personal favorite as the greatest of all time.
But your personal favorite should be what you think is the greatest of all time. So.
Not necessarily.
Like,
Like,
all right,
for
you
example,
go first. You
me.
go first now.
I like HBK's theme song, "Sexy Boy."
Sung by
Shawn Michaels or Sherry.
Or Sherry.
I like the Shawn Michaels version better, just because that's what I, grew up with.
It's like colorful Sting or black and white Sting, which we didn't even get
Black
to.
and white Sting.
Crow Sting or 80s Sting.
Yeah,
I
right.
like Crow Sting.
Crow Sting.
What I think the best one is Hulk Hogan's "Real American," because that makes your face.
Yeah. Anything that makes you more American.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off that, and I'm gonna go with I'm actually oh man, fuck.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know what? No. I'm going with my man. Oh yeah. The greatest theme song that ever was Poppin' Circumstance. Right? That's the
It
name of
was
the
great. Yeah, it
that's
was
the
Poppin'
name.
Circumstance.
Oh yeah, by Randy, the Macho Man Savage. Because it's
Can't
just
argue with that.
at one point it was so great back then because instead of having these actual theme songs, these guys would just pick up old songs like,
Ric
I
Flair.
just graduated. I kind of like this song.
I'm looking at it. The theme song right here, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Ric
Ric
Flair's
Flair.
theme
I was gonna
song.
say, I thought what mine was gonna be like. My best of all time was Ric Flair's because it. Like, seriously, like
Yeah.
if you're a wrestler and you're gonna be the best, what else are you coming out to? My personal favorite was The Undertaker's original. The bells,
the
and then
Center
and
of
then
the
whatever arena you were in, that organ,
Yeah.
that organ playing, it, like nothing. It's almost like the Stone Cold glass shattering. Like nothing
Oh my
made your
Lord.
hair stand up or made you feel more alive when you heard that bell toll, and you're just like, oh shit, shit just got real.
Yeah.
First time
All right.
I went to wrestling, I was really scared. When the
So
Undertaker
scared.
came
Right?
out.
You got chills.
So
Your hair
afraid.
stood up. You're all fucking like, oh shit, this dude's here now. All right.
Yo, time
All right.
out though.
I'll go with mine. I mean, the greatest of all time, the most recognizable is Hogan. We all know that. But for me personally, my favorite theme song of all time is any rendition for Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh,
Whether it was
yeah,
Scotland the
yeah,
Brave or whether
yeah.
it was a different one.
I
Because
wrote
when
it a
those
lot,
that, when
but
that-
nobody knows those songs.
when the drum beat hits and the bagpipes kick
You know those
in,
songs.
I was in a pipe band.
you know, I mean, you knew shit was gonna go crazy.
gonna go nuts.
My very first WWE show was Piper versus Rick Rude in a cage.
Ooh.
Oh man, what a good match.
See, also, when we went to Old School Raw, that was what, last year, right?
Yeah.
Last year. When that oh, you didn't know?
Your ass better call somebody.
When that shit went off, and at this point, it seems weird to me that I've only been a wrestler, like, I've only gotten back into wrestling probably for about, like, 2 years now, but it
Yeah.
seems like it has taken over my entire life because of the fact that we are shown so much content on a weekly basis. They need to just, like, dumb it down a little bit, you know? But when I heard that, it brought back so many fucking memories. Oh, you didn't know?
Well,
Jump.
That was their
Dog.
re-debut too.
yeah, that was their
Yeah.
return. Yeah,
And then
My
they gave
thing
him the
is,
belts, and that was
I
retarded.
enjoy the indies because a lot of these indie guys and some of the music that they choose as their theme songs, it's pretty fucking funny.
The indies are fucking great. We got an indie show coming up this Saturday
Yeah,
at the Johnsonburg,
Johnsburg.
St.
Yep.
Johnsonsburg.
St. Johnsonsburg Fire Hall.
Johnny
Coming
Gargano
up.
makes his return.
Johnny Gargano, come
Dragon Gate
on.
USA champion, great wrestler.
And then the post party is at the Walmart Inn, Paula Board. Toot toot. I'm gonna be playing there. I'm gonna be playing all your favorite hits from yesterday, today, and even the future. That's right. I know the songs that are coming on in the future, and I already wrote them. And I'm gonna play them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you if you are still with us. If there's anyone still out there, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you guys for coming on. I can't wait until
Pleasure.
next month. We have next episode is going to be the final episode of the Professor Charles Lewis.
Yep. For the foreseeable future.
For the foreseeable future, for the foreseeable
It's been a good run.
second
I've been on
shift,
every one since I don't know,
a while.
since we were back
very
in the falls.
a very long time. But motherfucker needs to get the second shift stuff in.
Cash rules everything around me.
Cream it. But again, thank you, Punski. Thank you for coming on. Did you have a good time?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I hope I'm invited back.
Oh, you of course you're invited back anytime. I'll tell you that. J Paz, always Johnny
My
Positive.
pleasure.
You know, great coming at us. All this inside knowledge, that WWE insider information.
I wouldn't much call it insider.
No, I
so much
wouldn't
of,
either.
you know, my opinionatedness. You know.
Yeah, we're all very opinionated.
Highly observant.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You
I'm
know
sure. I'm sure when I get home later, my wife is gonna, you know, completely critique the shit out of me, and rightfully so. Love it.
I hope
That's what they're
so.
for.
She's
Love
We
you,
didn't hate on
Love you,
Divas
honey.
matches
Yeah.
that
No,
much.
she was really pissed off about the Divas match. I will say.
I didn't watch it. I don't.
She was into it. She wanted to see how Stephanie did, whatever. You know, and
I thought that outfit Stephanie came out in was a fucking joke, man. And I
China
feel so
McMahon.
gay
Yo,
for
it was
saying
like
that
what I
shit.
say. Is Sable outfit?
Yeah,
from,
is Sable
from
out?
1998.
Dude, but Sonny was where it was at.
Yeah.
And I think because she was such a hoe, just sucking so much dick.
She was a hoe. For show.
no, I would say Heather definitely. She goes, yeah, Nikki's going to turn on Brie.
Yeah.
Oh, she was like, wow, what do you? That's like telepathy.
Didn't
or
Lisa
something?
know that too?
Lisa
called.
Shout out to Queen Bee for calling
Yeah,
every match from pre-show to the end. She called it 100% right. Every single match she
Oh
called.
man, that's like the bracket.
We gotta
She
find a
was
bookie.
She even called the turn.
We gotta find a bookie that'll take some wagers on this time.
Some wagers
Oh man,
on
well
it.
Vegas probably takes it.
I think
Yeah,
no, I
and the
think they
odds are
do.
horrible.
I think they do.
They
It's
do, and the
ridiculous.
odds are horrible. Brock Lesnar was 1-4 on Sunday night.
So you have to bet 4 to win 1.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Stupid.
dumb. That's really dumb. And you probably have to come in with like $1,000 to begin with, anyways.
Yep.
All right, and with that burp, ladies and gentlemen, we leave you. Next week, the final of the Professor Charles Lewis. I don't know who's going to be coming in next week. We'll have a great guest, I'm sure. Maybe Chris Barak. Maybe these guys come back. Maybe we just turn into a wrestling podcast. Who knows? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful week. Drive home safe. Hopefully you are already home. But if you're not home, that's cool too.
Hopefully your
And
kids are
lights are-
home
Yeah, hopefully your kids are home.
and you know where they are.
Ish.
Ish. Ish. All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you next Wednesday. 8 to about 8 o'clock till about
8-ish to 9:30.
8-ish to 9:30.
We're very ish.
And my head is being squished.